Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without it, dreams remain just that, dreams. Now, here's something to think about. Every successful person you admire, every story of greatness you've ever heard has one thing in common: discipline. It's not talent, not luck, not even intelligence. It's the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Why is it that two people can have the same opportunity, the same knowledge, the same tools, yet one rises to success while the other stays stuck? It's not the external conditions, it's the internal battle. The battle between comfort and growth, between what's easy and what's necessary. The truth is, your mind is constantly looking for the path of least resistance. It whispers, "Take it easy, do it later. Skip today, you'll catch up tomorrow." And if you listen to that voice, if you let comfort win, days turn into months, months into years, and before you know it, you're stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing has changed. But discipline is different. Discipline silences the excuses. It doesn't wait for motivation. It doesn't ask if you feel like it. It simply says, do it anyway, because it knows the secret. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly do. Not what you plan, not what you hope for, but what you do. And here's the best part. Discipline is instant. You don't need to wait for some perfect moment to change your life. The moment you decide to be disciplined, your life shifts. In that instant, you take control. And once you do, nothing can stop you. Think about it. A person can have all the best ideas in the world, but if they don't have the discipline to act on those ideas, nothing happens. Someone can have big goals, but if they lack the discipline to follow through, those goals remain just wishes. The difference between a person who succeeds and a person who fails is often nothing more than their ability to be disciplined. I remember a time early in my life when I struggled with discipline. I had goals, I had ambition, but I lacked the daily habits to make them real. One day, a mentor told me something that changed my life. He said, "You don't have to change your life overnight. You just have to start practicing small disciplines every day." That made sense to me. Instead of trying to transform everything at once, I started by disciplining myself to read for 30 minutes a day. Then I disciplined myself to wake up earlier. Then I disciplined myself to manage my finances better. Slowly, my life started changing. It wasn't magic, it was discipline. Success is not one big event. It's the sum of small, consistent actions repeated over time. An athlete doesn't become great by training once in a while. They train every day, whether they feel like it or not. A businessman doesn't become wealthy by making one good decision. They make disciplined decisions every day. A student doesn't become knowledgeable by studying only when they're in the mood. They study regularly, no matter what. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality. It's what separates those who make progress from those who stay stuck. And the best part? Discipline is something anyone can develop. It's not about how you feel in the moment. It's about making a decision to do what needs to be done, even when it's hard. If you master discipline, you can master anything. Self-discipline is the ability to control your actions, your emotions, and your decisions, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It is the ability to choose long-term success over short-term comfort, and when combined with consistency, it becomes the most powerful force for achievement. Think about it. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can make a good decision once in a while. But true progress happens when you have the discipline to show up every single day, regardless of the obstacles, regardless of your mood. Most people fail not because they don't have talent, not because they don't have intelligence, but because they lack consistency. They work hard for a week, then stop. They start strong, then give up when things get tough. But those who succeed are the ones who discipline themselves to keep going day after day without excuses. I once knew a man who wanted to get in shape. He was motivated. He joined a gym, bought new workout clothes, and started training hard. But after 2 weeks, he quit. Why? Because he didn't see immediate results. He expected a transformation in days, but that's not how it works. The man who truly changes his body is not the one who trains intensely for 2 weeks and quits, but the one who disciplines himself to exercise consistently, month after month, year. This principle applies to everything in life. A person who disciplines themselves to read for 30 minutes every day will be more knowledgeable than someone who crams for hours once a month. A person who saves a little money consistently will be wealthier than someone who tries to get rich overnight. A person who works on their craft daily, and self-discipline is the foundation. You must train yourself to do what needs to be done even when it's inconvenient. You must learn to control your emotions so you don't give up when things get difficult. And most importantly, you must develop the habit of consistency, because success is not about how hard you work on your best days, but about how disciplined you are on your worst days. If you master self-control and consistency, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Mental toughness is the ability to push forward when everything in you wants to quit. It's waking up when the alarm goes off, even when your body begs for 5 more minutes. It's showing up for your commitments, even when no one is watching. And the key to mental toughness: discipline. Without it, even the most talented person will fall short. With it, even an average person can accomplish extraordinary things. Many people think that success is about intelligence, talent, or luck. But look around, and you'll see plenty of smart people who never achieve much. You'll see talented individuals wasting their potential. And luck? It comes and goes. What remains constant is discipline, the ability to keep going, to stay on track, to do what needs to be done no matter how you feel. That is what builds mental toughness. There was a time when I struggled with discipline. I had big dreams, but I lacked the strength to stick with the daily habits that would make them real. I'd start something, but the moment it got tough, I'd make an excuse. I'd say, maybe it's not for me, or I'll try again later. But nothing changed until I changed my mindset. I realized that mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. One of the best ways to build it is by setting small, non-negotiable commitments. If you say you're going to wake up at 6 a.m., then wake up at 6 a.m. No debate, no discussion. If you say you'll read for 30 minutes a day, then do it, whether you feel like it or not. These small acts of discipline strengthen your mental resolve. They train your mind to push past resistance. Another strategy is learning to control your emotions. Too often, people let their feelings dictate their actions. They say, I don't feel like working out, or I don't feel like studying. But discipline means acting in spite of emotions. It means doing what's necessary, even when you're tired, frustrated, or unmotivated. Success doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to what you do. One of the most powerful examples of mental toughness I ever witnessed was a young entrepreneur I knew. He wasn't the smartest in his field. He didn't have the best resources, but what he had was discipline. He showed up every single day. He worked when others rested. He studied when others wasted time. And after years of relentless effort, he built a business that changed his life. Not because of luck, not because of talent, but because of discipline. The truth is, challenges will come. Obstacles will arise. You will feel like quitting. That's when you need mental toughness the most. That's when discipline must take over. Because when you train your mind to push through, to stay focused, to keep going no matter what, that's when real success begins. Success isn't magic, and it isn't reserved for a lucky few. It's built step by step through daily habits. The most disciplined individuals don't leave success to chance. They design it through consistent action. They don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on willpower. They build habits so strong that success becomes inevitable. If you want to transform your life, study the habits of those who have already done it. One of the most common habits among successful people is a structured morning routine. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. The most disciplined individuals don't wake up and scroll through their phones. They don't hit the snooze button 10 times. They wake up with purpose. They exercise, they read, they plan their day, they take control of their mornings because they know that if they win the morning, they win the day. Another habit is setting clear goals. Most people drift through life with vague dreams, but disciplined individuals have specific targets. They don't just say, "I want to be successful." They define what success looks like. They break their goals into daily actionable steps, and then they track their progress. They measure their results. Because what gets measured gets improved, one of the greatest secrets of the most disciplined individuals is their ability to delay gratification. They understand that short-term sacrifices lead to long-term rewards. They don't waste hours on meaningless distractions. They don't spend money carelessly. They focus on the bigger picture. They know that skipping one party, one weekend of fun, one unnecessary expense can compound into massive success later. Reading is another non-negotiable habit. The most successful people are lifelong learners. They dedicate time every single day to expanding their knowledge. They don't just rely on their existing skills. They keep growing. They invest in their minds because they know that the more they learn, the more they earn. And finally, they take action. Successful people don't just plan, they execute. They don't just talk about ideas, they make them happen. They don't wait for the perfect time, they start with what they have. They know that discipline means showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting the process. Success isn't a mystery. It's a result of disciplined habits practiced consistently over time. If you want to change your life, don't wait for motivation. Build the right habits and success will follow. Time is the most valuable resource you have. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But time, once it's gone forever. The most disciplined individuals understand this truth. If they don't waste time, they don't let distractions steal their focus. They prioritize their time with precision because they know that success isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. One of the first things disciplined people do is take control of their schedule. They don't let the day dictate their actions, they dictate their day. They set clear priorities and structure their time around what truly matters. They don't just make to-do lists, they make must-do lists. They focus on the tasks that bring real results. They don't confuse being busy with being productive. A key to time management is understanding the difference between urgent and important. Most people spend their days reacting, answering emails, putting out fires, handling small problems. But successful people prioritize the important over the urgent. They focus on long-term goals, not just immediate demands. They ask, what's the one thing I can do today that will move me closer to my goal? And then they protect their time to get it done. Another secret of disciplined people is eliminating distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, notifications, endless entertainment. It's easy to lose hours without realizing it. But highly disciplined people don't let distractions control them. They turn off notifications, they set time blocks for deep work. They guard their focus like it's gold, because it is. One of the greatest strategies for managing time effectively is the power of saying no. Many people struggle with this. They say yes to everything, every meeting, every request, every invitation. But disciplined individuals know that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that truly matters. They are selective with their commitments. They protect their time with the same intensity they protect their money. And finally, they understand the power of consistency. Success isn't about one big effort, it's about daily progress. Small, disciplined actions repeated over time create extraordinary results. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on disciplined time management to ensure they show up and do the work every single day. If you want to achieve great things, master your time. Because if you don't control your time, someone else will. Accountability is the glue that holds discipline together. Without it, the best intentions fade, the strongest plans fall apart, and the greatest dreams remain out of reach. Personal accountability is the ability to look in the mirror and say, I am responsible for my actions, my choices, and my results. It's the realization that no one else is coming to do the work for you. No one else can wake up early for you. No one else can say no to distractions for you. If you want success, if you want wealth, if you want a better life, it starts with you taking full ownership of everything you do or fail to do. One of the most powerful things you can do is set standards for yourself and stick to them. Weak standards lead to weak results. Strong standards lead to strong results. If you tell yourself you'll wake up at 5 a.m., do it. If you set a goal to save money every month, follow through. When you break promises to yourself, you weaken your discipline. But when you hold yourself accountable, you build a foundation of trust with yourself, and that trust becomes the fuel that drives your success. Highly disciplined individuals don't just rely on willpower, they create systems of accountability. They track their progress, they write down their goals, they review their results, they measure their actions. What gets measured gets improved. If you don't track where your time is going, how can you improve your productivity? If you don't track your finances, how can you build wealth? Accountability means knowing where you stand at all times and adjusting your actions to stay on course. Another key to personal accountability is seeking external accountability. The most successful people don't just hold themselves accountable, they surround themselves with people who push them to stay on track. They find mentors, coaches, and like-minded individuals who challenge them to keep their commitments. They don't seek comfort, they seek growth. They don't look for excuses, they look for solutions. The truth is, most people fail to achieve their dreams not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they lack accountability. They let themselves off the hook. They accept excuses instead of results. But when you take full responsibility for your actions, something incredible happens. You gain control over your future. Success is not given. It is earned through discipline and accountability. And the moment you decide to hold yourself to a higher standard is the moment your life begins to change. Discipline doesn't start with grand gestures. It doesn't begin with major transformations or overnight successes. No, it starts with the small things, the little choices, the minor habits, the seemingly insignificant decisions that over time create a foundation for success. The secret to building discipline isn't in doing something massive once in a while. It's in doing the right things consistently day after day. Most people fail to build discipline because they think they have to change everything at once. They set huge goals, commit to extreme changes, and then burn out before they even get started. But real discipline doesn't work that way. It works in increments. It works in small, daily victories. A man once told me, "I want to change my life. I want to become successful, wealthy, and disciplined." I asked him, "What time do you wake up every day?" He said, "Sometimes 6 a.m., sometimes 10 a.m., depending on how I feel." And there it was. If you don't have control over something as simple as when you wake up, how will you control the bigger areas of your life? Discipline begins with mastering the small, simple habits. If you want to become someone who exercises daily, don't start with a 2-hour workout at the gym. Start with 5 minutes of stretching. If you want to be a reader, don't set a goal to read a book a week. Start with a single page a day. If you want financial discipline, don't aim to save half your income overnight. Start with a small percentage and increase it gradually. The trick is to win the small battles first. Because every time you follow through on a small commitment, you reinforce the identity of a disciplined person. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that small actions don't matter. They say, skipping one workout won't make a difference, or eating one unhealthy meal won't hurt, or not saving this month is no big deal. But it is a big deal, because discipline is built on momentum. What seems like nothing in the moment adds up over time. Success doesn't come from making big moves once in a while. It comes from doing the right things consistently. There was a man who wanted to become a writer, but every time he sat down to write, he felt overwhelmed. He told himself he needed to write 10 pages a day, but he could never do it, so he stopped trying altogether. One day, someone told him, write 1 sentence a day, just one. It sounded ridiculous, but he tried it. Some days he wrote 1 sentence. Other days he wrote a paragraph. Eventually he built momentum, and in a year, He had finished his first book. That's the power of starting small. The key to discipline is making it so easy to start that you can't fail. And once you start, you build confidence. Once you build confidence, you gain momentum. And once you gain momentum, nothing can stop you. So if you want to master discipline, don't aim for giant leaps. Aim for small, steady steps. Win the little battles. Build habits that seem too small to fail, because those small wins, repeated over time, turn into the kind of discipline that transforms your entire life. Discipline isn't just about willpower. It's not about forcing yourself to stay focused while surrounded by distractions. The truth is, even the strongest willpower will eventually give in to enough temptation. That's why the most disciplined people in the world don't just rely on willpower, they set up their environment for success. They remove distractions, eliminate temptations, and create conditions that make discipline the easy choice. Most people try to build discipline while keeping all their old distractions in place. It's like trying to lose weight while keeping your kitchen full of junk food. It's like trying to save money while surrounding yourself with people who love to spend recklessly. If you want to be disciplined, you have to be strategic. You have to remove the things that make discipline difficult and replace them with things that make it effortless. A man once told me he struggled with productivity. He wanted to work on his goals, but he always found himself watching television or scrolling through his phone instead. I asked him, "Where is your phone when you're working?" He said, "Right next to me." And there it was. The problem wasn't that he lacked discipline. The problem was that he had set himself up for failure. I told him, "Put your phone in another room while you work." He did, and suddenly his productivity skyrocketed. He didn't have to fight distractions anymore because they were no longer within reach. Discipline is about making good choices easier and bad choices harder. If you want to eat healthy, don't keep unhealthy food in your house. If you want to read more, put books in places where you'll see them every day. If you want to focus on your work, eliminate notifications, clear your workspace, and set specific time blocks for deep focus. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they can resist temptation if they just try hard enough. But the best strategy isn't to resist temptation, it's to remove it. A man once told me he wanted to save money, but every time he had cash in his pocket, he felt the urge to spend it. So he started depositing his money into a separate account that he couldn't easily access. The result? His savings grew without him having to rely on willpower. The most successful people in the world aren't necessarily the strongest willed. They're the ones who design their lives in a way that makes discipline the natural choice. They don't put themselves in situations where they have to fight distractions all day. They build environments that support their goals. So if you want to master discipline, stop relying on willpower alone. Remove the temptations, eliminate the distractions, set yourself up for success, and you'll find that discipline becomes much easier. And when discipline becomes easier, success becomes inevitable. Success isn't built on occasional bursts of motivation. It's built on what you do every single day. The most successful people don't wake up each morning wondering how they'll get things done. They don't waste energy debating whether or not to work on their goals. They have a routine, an automatic system that keeps them on track day in and day out. Because when you build strong routines, you remove the need for constant decision-making, and that's the secret to lasting discipline. Most people struggle with discipline because they rely too much on willpower. They wake up each morning trying to force themselves into action, and by the end of the day, they're exhausted. Decision fatigue sets in. Should I go to the gym or not? Should I read or watch TV? Should I work on my business or take the night off? The more decisions you have to make, the harder it is to stay disciplined. But when you establish a structured routine, those decisions disappear. You don't waste energy deciding, you just do. A young man once told me he wanted to get in shape, but he could never stick to a workout routine. I asked him what his approach was. He said, "Some days I work out in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and if I miss those, I try to fit it in at night." I told him, "That's why you're struggling. You're making discipline optional. Set a specific time every day and make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. He listened. He committed to exercising at 7 a.m. every morning. No debate. No excuses. Within months, his body transformed, but more importantly, his mindset did. He no longer needed willpower. His routine carried him forward. That's the power of structure. Think about the most successful people you admire. They don't leave their success to chance. They have a morning routine that primes them for the day. They have a work routine that keeps them productive. They have an evening routine that ensures they rest and recover. Their life isn't dictated by moods or motivation. It's shaped by habits they've built over time. If you want to be more disciplined, stop trying to force it. Instead, build routines that make discipline automatic. Wake up at the same time. Have a set schedule for your most important tasks. Stick to consistent meal times, exercise times, and learning times. When you create structure, you remove the chaos. When you remove the chaos, discipline becomes effortless. And when discipline becomes effortless, success is inevitable. Discipline is not about working hard for a day or a week. It's about showing up consistently over time. And the only way to ensure you stay on track is to measure your progress and hold yourself accountable. Because what gets measured gets improved. When you track your progress, you gain clarity. When you stay accountable, you maintain discipline. And when you do both, success is only a matter of time. Most people start with enthusiasm but lose momentum because they don't track their efforts. They go to the gym for a few weeks, but because they don't see immediate results, they quit. They start saving money, but when the bank account doesn't grow fast enough, they give up. They work on a business idea, but when success doesn't come overnight, they stop. But here's the truth. Progress is happening even when you can't see it. The key is to track it. A young entrepreneur once told me he was frustrated because his business wasn't growing. I asked, how are you tracking your progress? He looked at me blankly. I said, if you're not measuring, how do you know if you're improving? So I had him start tracking his daily sales calls, his customer outreach, and his revenue. After a month, he saw something remarkable. Even though his business wasn't booming yet, his numbers were steadily improving. That gave him confidence. He kept going, refining his approach, and within a year, his business had doubled. Not because he relied on motivation, but because he stayed disciplined and tracked his progress. Discipline thrives on clear benchmarks. Set specific goals and measure them. If you want to get in shape, don't just say, I want to be healthier. Track your workouts, your diet, and your body measurements. If you want to improve your finances, don't just say, I want to save money. Track your income, expenses, and savings rate. When you see progress, even small progress, it fuels your discipline. Accountability is the second piece of the puzzle. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when no one is watching. But when you have an accountability system, whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a journal, you hold yourself to a higher standard. Find a way to stay accountable, because when you track progress and hold yourself responsible, discipline stops feeling like a burden. It becomes a habit, and habits shape your destiny. Discipline is the foundation of every great achievement. It is the one habit that, when mastered, can transform your life instantly. Without discipline, dreams remain just dreams. Without discipline, potential remains untapped. But when you take control, when you decide that you will no longer be ruled by distractions, excuses, or laziness, you become unstoppable. You take the power away from circumstances, from bad habits, from procrastination, and you place it firmly in your own hands. Success is not a matter of luck. It is not reserved for the fortunate few. It is built day by day through consistent action and unwavering commitment. The wealthy, the accomplished, the extraordinary, they are not different from you. They do not have more hours in the day. They are not born with superhuman abilities. The only thing that sets them apart is their discipline, their ability to do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. And that same ability is available to you right now. The only question is, will you use it? The time for excuses is over. The time for waiting, for hoping, for wishing is done. The only thing that matters is action. Because action creates momentum. Action builds confidence. Action turns discipline into a habit. And once discipline becomes a habit, success becomes inevitable. You must decide today, right now, that you will no longer let distractions steal your future, that you will no longer allow comfort to hold you back, that you will step up, take full responsibility, and create the life you know you are capable of living. So I challenge you, starting today, commit to discipline. Commit to doing the work. Commit to pushing past resistance, ignoring the doubts, and staying the course no matter what. Wake up early, stick to your goals, say no to the things that waste your time, hold yourself accountable, and most importantly, never break a promise to yourself. Because every time you do what you say you will do, you strengthen your character. And every time you let yourself off the hook, you weaken it. Your future is being written right now by the decisions you make today. Will you be the person who lets excuses win? Or will you be the person who masters discipline and builds the life of their dreams? The choice is yours. But remember this: discipline is everything. And the moment you commit to it fully, your life will never be the same again.